Welcome back, folks. I'm Danny the Dinosaur Drawer, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to draw the level 40 Dunkleosaurus from Jurassic World the game. So this is day 10 of my Danny the Dinosaur Drawing Marathon, and yeah, here's our reference image. So get out your paper, pencil, and eraser, and we will dive right in. As usual, we're going to start off with an outline. So let's take our pencils and make an oval near the bottom right corner of our page. And try and draw it nice and lightly so it's easy to erase. We're going to attach a larger oval, which is going to represent the body. And Dunkleosaurus has like a forked tail. I want to make sure we can fit that all on the page. So yeah, it's going to be facing to the right. Put in some flat ovals to represent the fins. Then it's going to have a big array of dorsal fins on its back. So we're just getting the proportions down at this point. And I think, even though in the reference image the jaws are closed, I think I want to open the jaws up. So we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure the jaws are opened. And that looks pretty good. Let's move on to the next stage. So guys, we're going to be working from left to right to avoid smudging as much as possible. Therefore, the head is going to be the last thing we draw. Let's start off with the tail. So as I said, it's going to be forked and curved like so. It looks almost like a lobster claw in my opinion. It's quite pointy. But yeah, this hybrid clearly looks a lot more like Mosasaurus than Dunkleosaurus. The whole form of the body just speaks of Mosasaurus. They do add the plates and all that to make it look like Dunkleosaurus. But yeah, they might, I think if I were them, I would have added a few different things to make it look a little bit more like Dunkleosaurus as well. So here we have that crab claw tail. We'll put in like so. And this is, the tail stays pretty thick. I guess even thicker as we get closer to the back. So that looks pretty good. Now the top of the tail is going to have these sections of armored plates, which is the part of it that's going to look the most like Dunkleosaurus. So let's go ahead and take our erasers and erase some of the lines we don't need anymore. And we'll continue the plates. So the plates are going to get a little bit bigger as we get closer to the back. They're all about the same size. And then right about here, each plate has a few, or between each plate there's like a spike. So we're going to put those in first before we draw in the plates. So now continue our row of plates. And here they're going to get really big. And yeah, on top of each of the plates there are more spikes. And I start right about here where there are two huge ones that protrude out of the tail. And then after that they get smaller and they're more even. One spike per plate segment. Like so. Let me just make sure this doesn't look so messy. So the plates look pretty good. Now, for the bottom of the tail, there's not much you can do because it doesn't have any scales or anything. So we're just going to take our pencil and make a bunch of these lines, these vertical lines, and make them nice and light. And we're going to add shading and everything later on in our drawing. And now I think we can put in the rear fin. So this fin is actually not going to be that big. Yeah, it's shaped like the end of a kayak paddle, basically. And this also is going to have plates. So I think the designers of Dunkleosaurus put plates all over a mosasaur body basically and changed up the tail and stuff a bit. So there we go, we got the plates on. And everything's gonna look much better once we get out our shading pencils and start putting in some real shading. So next we wanna make sure we get the right body size here with our pencil. And then after that we can take our erasers and erase all this outlines that we don't need. And I think we'll start with the top here. So after this last spike that we're going to put in, this sail sort of starts up and is connected by 3 huge spines that come out of the back. So we'll start the sail up. It's going to curve, each segment is going to be very curved like a Spinosaurus's sail. And then of course it becomes very small once we get close to the head. So this is an enormous dorsal fin. It's going to have some veins going up through it. Put in a bunch of vertical lines. So now I think we can continue these spikes that come out of the side of the body. It's very important to put in these spikes before you put in the plates because they are rusting on top and it's going to save us some time. Now each of these plates are very enormous and take up a huge amount of space on the Dunkleosaurus's back. So this is definitely a very armored hybrid. And the stats on this thing is amazing. So if you own Dunkleosaurus in Jurassic World the game, you're such a lucky person. I do know that after you fight with it once, you have to wait like days for it to recharge, which is really annoying. That's the annoying thing about being really advanced in Jurassic World the game, is you have to wait longer for everything. So we're continuing these sections of plates. And right about here is where we can put in the pectoral fin. So go ahead and put a bunch of wrinkles. And the fin is going to stick out, like so. And this one's going to be much bigger than the one in the back. I'm also going to erase the belly lines because I want to redo that. So as we did in the back fin, we'll do the same on this pectoral fin. You want to layer the front of it with these armored plates. Like so. So yeah, on the underside of our Dunkleosaurus, we're going to put in all these wrinkles, a bunch of horizontal lines. And the wrinkles go over the shoulder there and continue onto the neck. So there really is no neck, like the back basically turns into the head. But yeah, there is a tiny space that you could consider the neck, but it's all really connected. So the head's going to start right about here at this plate. But yeah, the plates all continue on top of the head. So we want to draw that carefully in because I don't want to make any mistakes here. So the head's going to end right about here. And let's take our erasers and erase some of the outlines. And I want to put in the eye right away. So put in the eye, it's very deeply set. and its pupil is looking straight forward. Put in some eyelids. Then it's got this cavity opening right about here, which I would assume is where the ear is, but I'm not exactly sure. It's got that cavity that's opened up. And it does have another one back here, which might possibly be the ear as well. So these are all layered on top of each other. Very similar to what we're doing here on the pectoral fin. Let's give it a little bit of an eyebrow. And the little segments get smaller as we get near the nose, near the end of the snout. So yeah, if you ask me, it's a very rough looking aquatic dinosaur. Definitely looks like it's ready to take a beating. So its nostril is going to be right here, embedded in the center of all these plates. And the plates are not just on the top of the Dunkleosaurus's head, they're all over the face too. So yeah, the head definitely looks really cool. We'll add some shading later. And yeah, the teeth here look very, very interesting. They're like much more like Dunkleosaurus teeth than Mosasaurus's, because they're all like connected and they all look like part of the actual bone and not actually teeth. So it's all basically one tooth actually, just with a bunch of spikes on it. And that's why I thought it would be cool to open up the Mosasaurus's mouth, or Dunkleosaurus's mouth, in this drawing. So we can see those teeth, because in the reference image, the mouth is closed. So we'll put in the bottom jaw, which is really thick at the end. It's got all these spikes underneath it, especially this one on the chin. And then it gets wider and wider and then curves back up. So the head on Dunkleosaurus is like almost about 1/4 of the size of the body. Got a very enormous head. And here, I don't really have a good reference image of the bottom jaws, but I'm pretty sure the teeth look very similar to the ones on the top jaw. Maybe a little bit smaller. I think the teeth might end a little bit sooner than I had originally drawn in, right about here. Because they have to be able to close, you know. So I'll end the jaws right out there, and then we have to have a little bit of that muscle that opens and closes the jaw. And I'm thinking I'm going to make this a little bit thinner. I'll still have that main spike and everything, but I want to make the jaw a little bit more slender. And then also we're going to put in the teeth that we see on the other side, which we will shade in. So yeah, our first stage is, or our second stage after the outline, is pretty much complete. Next we will get out our shading pencils or pencil and begin the shading process. So guys, now we're going to begin the shading process. I got with me today a 3B shading pencil, and I think I'm going to be able to do all the shading with just this one pencil. I mean, you really don't need anything fancy for shading like a Mosasaurus or Dunkleosaurus, whatever. Yeah, if you're drawing like a portrait, maybe, but yeah, for a dinosaur from Jurassic World, the game, you don't need anything fancy. So, we're going to start by shading the bottom of the tail. So, I want to shade like the bottom fourth of the tail. I'm really moving my arm over, trying to to get a better angle, especially since I'm reaching around my tripod. It's kind of awkward. But yeah, you want to make horizontal strokes with your pencil. And get it not too dark, but like a decent darkness there. Already it's looking much better. And next on the tail, I want to shade the bottom of each of these plates. So do that carefully. Like so. So that's really nice. And I'm going to shade the back of some of these spikes to give them more of a 3D look. And yeah, you can add a little bit more shading to each individual scale by itself. So we're really going to take this drawing to the next level by adding in shading. So already the tail is looking much better. And yeah, add some more refinement lines. Just add some more texture to the tail. Because it is quite simple, so you want to add more wrinkles or whatever. Now we're going to add some shading to each of these segments on the back fin. And for the back plates, we're actually not going to shade the bottom, we're going to shade the center because this is where it actually curves. You want to show that curve with the shading. So here you don't want to shade too dark. Try and keep it on the lighter scale of things. Like so. That looks really nice. I'll take the shading pencil and make some lines going straight up. Make it the darkest near the bottom of the sail. So nice and complete. This is looking very, very nice. And yeah, definitely add some shading at the bottom of each of these segments. And here's where you can make it probably a little bit darker. And the shading is also not only going to make it look better, but also going to show that each segment is quite thick. Each of these sections of plates. So Dunkleosaurus versus Megalodon, I would totally vote for the Dunkleosaurus. Not Dunkleosaurus, I mean Dunkleosaurus. Because all these plates, I don't think the shark could bite through those. Because when I asked you guys in that video when I drew Megalodon versus Mosasaurus, everyone, or pretty much everyone, said Megalodon would win in a fight against Mosasaurus. But against Dunkleosaurus, I'm pretty sure the Megalodon would lose the fight. So I have some nice curved lines at the back of the pectoral fin. I'm going to shade a lot under the underarm here. And the whole belly in general is going to get a little bit more shading. So shading behind the jaw there. Neck is going to be nice and shaded. So yeah, this dinosaur is already looking very much more 3D. Maybe I should say aquatic reptile, because I always get correction comments if I say something wrong in my videos, which is kind of funny. Like, I'm sure I said Dunkleosaurus instead of Dunkleosaurus many times in this video, and I know I'm going to get comments on that. Okay, so we're adding a tiny bit more shading to the top there. Probably going to cross-hatch that part. And really we only have the head to finish. So we can shade the bottom of each of these segments. Like so. It's looking very nice. I'm always pleased with how my Jurassic World level 40 creatures turn out. So there we have it. I think the top jaw is pretty much done. Let's move on to the bottom jaw. And the bottom jaw is going to be nice and heavily shaded near the bottom. So like the bottom half of the bottom jaw, it's going to be mostly dark. And also inside the jaw is going to be nice and dark. And the opposite row of teeth here will be shaded in. Guys, I think our drawing is pretty much done. Just going to erase a few little smudge lines. But yeah, we didn't smudge too bad today. And I feel like we didn't make any big mistakes, which is a relief. So now it's time to sign our drawing. I'm going to sign mine next to this pectoral fin. Put in the full date. Let's see. I'll just put 09/2019. So I'm really proud of this drawing. I hope you guys are proud of it too. If you liked this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And as always, share this video with your friends who you think might enjoy it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, which will be episode 11 of my dinosaur drawing marathon. Thank you guys again so much for watching.